Hello everyone. Now today we are going to learn about system call interface and context switch. The learning outcome of this session are, at the end of this session, student will be able to describe algorithm for invocation of system call, define context switch of a process and explain saving context for abortive return processes. Now whenever we invoke a normal function call, then it doesn't changes the process execution mode from user to kernel, as we have two types of mode in Unix, user and kernel mode. But if we invoke a normal function call within our program, then it doesn't change mode of the execution of the process, it remains in user mode only. But whenever there is a execution of system call, then it changes the process execution mode from user to kernel, because system call always executes in a kernel mode. So kernel executes the code for the system call, and that is called as a operating system trap. So whenever process switches from user to kernel mode, as we learned in previous video, that whenever there is a system call, then it has to change the mode from user to kernel. It is referred as a operating system trap. So the library function pass unique number per system call, means whenever there is a system call, then library function passes a unique number per system call in machine dependent way, either as a parameter to operating system trap in particular register or on the stack. So there is an algorithm called as a syscall, which executes the system call. First it has to find the entry in the system call table corresponding to system call number. So each and every system call is there in system call table, so it has to find the number. Then determine the number of parameters to the system call. How many number of parameters are there for particular system call? Then copy the parameters from user address space to U area. Then save the current context for abortive return process. Now what is abortive return process? That also we are going to see. Then after it saves the current context for such process, it invokes the system call code in kernel, and then it has to check whether there is any error during the execution of system call. If there is an error, then it set the register 0 in user save register context to error number, and it turn on the carry bit in process status register in user saved register context. But if there is no error, then it will set the register 0 and 1 in user save register context to return value from the system call, means it will indicate that the system call is executed successfully. Now as we know, this is the process state transition diagram. Now in which cases the context switch occur? Now as shown here, the context switch occur whenever process is returning from kernel mode to user mode, whenever process exit using exit system call, or whenever process switch from kernel running mode to a sleep in memory. So in these three cases the context switch occurs. Now kernel permits a context switch under four circumstances. First, whenever process put itself to sleep, when process exit, when it return from system call to user mode but it not most eligible process to run, when it returns to user mode after the kernel completes the handling and interrupt but is not most eligible process to run. The kernel ensures the integrity and consistency of internal data structure by providing arbitrary context switches. So these are the three cases where the process does a context switch, okay, and whenever there is a context switch, kernel has to ensure the integrity and consistency of the internal data structure by providing the arbitrary context switches. So how it permits the consistent data? It checks whether all updates are done, queues are linked properly, appropriate locks are set to prevent intrusion by other processes, no data structures are left unnecessarily locked. For example, if kernel allocates a buffer, then it reads a block in a file and goes to sleep waiting for IO transmission from disk to complete. So it will keep the buffer locked so that no other process can tamper with. So while doing the operation on the buffer, it has to keep the buffer locked. So in such a way, kernel can make consistent data. It will always give a consistent data. Now context switch. Context switch can occur at the conclusion of exit system call, as we already studied in state transition diagram. So means here whenever there is a exit system call is invoked by the process, then there is nothing else for it to do. So it does not have to save the current register context of the process if there is a exit system call. Then context switch, when process enters the sleep state, okay, sleep in memory, then since the considerable time may elapse until the process wake up, means process may go for sleep for a particular time. So there is a time span till that process wake ups. Then other process can execute meanwhile. So the context switch can have these two types. If there is exit system call, then nothing to do, only select the next process. But if process is switching from kernel running mode to a sleep in memory, then it has to schedule another process for execution. Now there are different steps for context switch. First, decide whether to do a context switch and whether a context switch is permissible or not. Save the context of old process, means currently executing process. Find the best process to schedule for execution using process scheduling algorithm. Now finding the best process means if there is a round robin scheduling, then automatically time quantum will expire and processes are added into the ready queue, that we know. But again, best process means the process which has higher priority or the process which have only minimum execution time. So there are different criteria for selection of the process. So find the best process to schedule for execution using process scheduling algorithm. Then restore the context of the process, the newly selected process, restore the context of the newly selected process. Now just give me the answer that in which cases kernel permits the context switch. As we studied just now, just recall in which cases kernel permits the context switch. Now as I already told, kernel permits a context switch when process puts itself to sleep, when process exit, when it return from system call to user mode, but that process is not most eligible process to run, and when it returns to user mode after kernel completes handling the interrupt but is not most eligible process to run. So these are the 4 cases whenever kernel permits a context switch, and during this context switch kernel must ensure the integrity and consistency of the internal data structure. Now this is what the code for context switch means, how context switch is done. So this is the pseudo code. So as shown here, we have a save context function. It saves the information about context of the running process and returns the value 1. Then kernel saves the value of that current program counter and the value 0 to be used later as the return value in register from the save context. Then kernel continue to execute in the context of old process and pick another new process to run and call the resume context to restore the context of the new process. After the new context is restored, the system is executing in process B. The old process is no longer executing, but it leaves the save context behind. Later the kernel will again pick process A to run when another process does a context switch. So when process A's context is restored, then the kernel will set the program counter to the value process A had previously saved in the function save context as in step 1. So and it will also place the value 0 saved for the return value into register 0. So this is how the context switch is done by kernel, means switching from process A to process B and again come back to process A. So finally process A returns from that function save underscore context and it resumes its execution. Okay. Now what is what will be the case when kernel abort the current execution sequence of a process, means when process executes a abort system call, means process is forcefully terminated. What about such type of process? How to save the context of such process? So this is what the saving the context for abortive returns, means the process which are aborted or terminated abnormally. So when kernel abort the current execution sequence of a process, it executes set jump algorithm. That set jump algorithm will save a context, store the save context in U area and continue to executing in the old context layer. Okay. So set jump is invoked to save the context of such abortive return process. This is most important concept, that set jump algorithm is used to save the context for the abortive return processes. And suppose after some time that process is restored, so that process has to resume its execution from its previous context. So for that long jump algorithm is invoked, and this long jump algorithm will restore the context, restoring its context from the U area and return 1 from the set jump. So using long jump algorithm we can restore the context for the abortive return processes. So these are the references for abortive, saving the context for the abortive return process, then context switch, and how kernel handles the context switch under different circumstances.